Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ty, and I'm back again to do another video reaction. Oh boy, oh man, Mm. It's about Jonathan Majors, guys. It would seem that someone's out to get Jonathan Majors, guys. It's not looking good for him. The last news information that I got from following his case is that there was evidence came out that his ex girlfriend's about to get arrested, and now things might be different. The way it looks now, guys, that the case might be dropped. He looks like he's fighting it so hard that I think they're gonna drop the case. Well, it looks pretty good that they're gonna drop the case, but his career might be over. It seems like someone or some agency is trying to cancel him for some reason. Um, I'm not sure. I'll let you guys see what I see and come to your decision. Okay. So let's get into it, guys. This is from the Cosmic Wonder. Let's get it.
Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have some new developments in the case of Jonathan Majors. Recently, things were looking pretty good with Jonathan
Yeah,
Majors
pretty
and his
good.
case where he is being tried for several cases of assault against his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. Jonathan
Mhm.
Majors was arrested for allegedly assaulting her, but recently, in a report from Newsweek.com, we found out that Priya Chaudhry, Jonathan Majors' lawyer, and Majors himself provided the NYPD with enough evidence,
Yeah.
along with the NYPD conducting their own investigation. The NYPD found probable cause to arrest Grace Jabari, the person who is the alleged victim in the Jonathan Majors assault case. But
Hmm.
Jonathan Majors has now claimed that she assaulted him, and this was the evidence they provided and the evidence that the NYPD found to find probable cause to arrest her. And Majors'
Yes.
lawyer, Chaudhry,
Right.
said this, and I quote, "Within hours of viewing the evidence and conducting their own thorough investigation, the NYPD found probable cause to arrest Grace Jabari for assaulting Jonathan Majors.
Mhm.
Considering this development, we extend our gratitude to the NYPD detectives for their efforts.
That's what I heard
However, we
also.
have recently found out this morning from a report from Business Insider that Manhattan prosecutors were reluctant to press charges against Jabari, and the Chinatown police station issued her with an incident card and not issuing the
Incident.
arrest warrant. And the incident card, which basically means that she is called into the police office for questioning, was then revoked as well.
Wow.
Basically, the NYPD Chinatown precinct changed their mind, according to this report from Business Insider, and they
Wow.
decided to not arrest Grace Jabari. So they had the intent to arrest her, but then canceled that. Then they gave her the incident card, but canceled that as well. And according
Wow.
to a report from the NYPD to Newsweek, they stated regarding the incident that occurred on March 25th of 2023, the investigation is ongoing. There are no additional arrests at this time. Basically stating that despite what Priya Chaudhry, Jonathan Major's lawyer, and their team presented them with, and despite what they said originally when presented with this evidence, they are not going through with the arrest. So things were looking pretty good for Jonathan Majors until the NYPD revoked their
Hmm.
decision, and now, last night, Rolling Stone released a huge article about Jonathan Majors
Mm.
and how he has been known over the past decade for
Wow.
extreme abuse. Rolling Stone
Extreme
states that they
abuse.
have done a 3-month investigation talking to many of his past coworkers and
Listen, guys, this has nothing to do with the case. Has nothing to do with the case. He's 33 years old. A decade ago, he was 23 years old. What this has to do with anything except to ruin him? This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't understand this. I really don't understand why would they go over a decade. This is a young man, 33 years old. Hmm.
schoolmates, speaking with over 40 people who have known Jonathan Majors. And now RollingStone.com has come out with the article basically stating everything that they have learned about Jonathan Majors and what people have said about him, with the article titled Jonathan Majors' extreme abuse allegedly goes back nearly a decade. So, we'll break down this article, talk about what it means for his case, and talk about what it means for Jonathan Majors' role as Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The subtitle for this article reads Majors was abusive with his partners, aggressive on sets, and a source of toxicity at
Wow.
Yale. 24 sources tell Rolling Stone. Majors vehemently denies all accusations. Rolling Stone goes on in the article to say, during this 3-month investigation, Rolling Stone spoke with more than 40 people who have known Majors during his time in graduate school, his Hollywood career, and his romantic
40
relationships. Many
people.
describe Majors as being a complicated, unpredictable, and sometimes violent man who can switch from charming to cold in a flash. And they do state
Wow.
here that all of the sources for this article request to remain anonymous, citing
Wow.
fear of career repercussions and personal retribution from Majors. Some claim they were prohibited from speaking, and Rolling Stone quotes here, "My only response can be that I am silenced by an NDA he had me sign," says one person who worked with Majors. So all of their sources and statements that they are getting from these witnesses are going to remain anonymous. And the article is very long and pretty repetitive, but I'll give you the main details that they have found out with speaking with all of these different witnesses. Rolling Stone states, throughout conversations with more than a dozen sources, Rolling Stone has learned of 2 women Majors allegedly abused either physically and or emotionally. Now, again, this is allegedly, so this is not proven. And in parentheses, it states the 2 women declined to comment for this article, with one of the women, through a spokesperson, citing fear of retribution. They continue on to state 1 woman who dated Majors was strangled and physically and emotionally abused. 9
Yo.
sources familiar with their relationship claim. At first, the sources say Majors was romantic with the women before becoming more manipulative and volatile. The situation became really extreme abuse, physical and mentally, one source claims, and allegedly escalated.
All right, guys. This is a relationship, and how in the world you can confirm this happened or not happen? I'm not saying it didn't happen, which it could happen, but how in the world can you confirm that what she said is true? It's just, I mean, it's hearsay, and they are bringing this out and not letting Jonathan Majors confirming it or denying it. So, I mean, this is it's crazy. This is really crazy, guys.
To the point of him strangling her. 2 sources claim she tried to leave multiple times and had an exit plan at one point but remained in the relationship. Majors emotionally abused a second woman he was dating, 9 people familiar with their relationship allege. The woman said her relationship with Majors was emotional torture, according to one source. Though the woman told friends at the time Majors was never physically abusive with her, she said there were moments of near violence where he would get filled with rage, says the source of woman confided in. The woman told the source that Majors would say he needed to hit something or punch a wall or something of that nature. And here's where it actually gets kind
All
of
right.
convoluted. Rolling Stone basically cites that they can't confirm anything with these actual 2 women
All
who
right.
were allegedly abused physically and
This is
emotionally.
true.
They even state, as part of Major's legal team's response to Rolling Stone's request for comment on the abuse allegations, his attorneys sent 6 character witness statements from women who Majors had dated or was close with. Major's attorney noted in his statement that Rolling Stone was provided statements from Mr. Major's actual past romantic partners attesting to his character and the falsity of the charges, but Rolling Stone
Mm.
purposefully ignored those facts, red
Mm.
flags, and published the false charges anyways. But then
Mm.
Rolling Stone states that, in fact, Rolling Stone reached out to all 6 people.
Mm.
3 say they never gave Majors' team permission to release such statements. Another woman declined to share the statement credited to her by Majors' team, saying it was pre
Wow.
written, not truthful, that she had never approved of its release, which is
Wow.
really, really odd for a law firm to do. They typically would not do that unless they did actually have consent to send those statements in. So that's
Exactly.
a really interesting mix up
It's
here.
big
However,
time
they
red
do
flag.
state that 1 woman did consent to making her statement public. It is Haley Carter, a woman who Majors dated from age 13 to 18, described Majors as sweet, kind, and gentle in a message drafted in late March. After 20 years of
Mm.
knowing him, I can tell you who Jonathan is. He did not do these things. He is exactly the opposite of what these allegations say. Jonathan is the most self controlled,
Mm.
disciplined, well mannered person I know. We all call him the peacekeeper. He is not violent in any way. Now, the
Mm.
article also says it speaks with people that have worked with Jonathan Majors in his acting career or people that were his co students at Yale, and they all say that he was really hard to work with and be around. However, here is what Jonathan Majors' team had to say in response to all of these allegations. They state Jonathan Majors vehemently denies Rolling Stone's false allegations that he physically, verbally, or emotionally abused anyone, let alone any of his past romantic partners. These allegations are based entirely on hearsay because neither of the romantic partners referenced were willing to engage with Rolling Stone for the article, demonstrating their outright falsity. This is coming from Jonathan Majors' attorney, Dustin A. Bush, who also stated that Jonathan Majors also denies any allegations of abuse, violence, or intimidation during his time at Yale. The allegations that Mr. Majors got physical with or physically intimidated anyone on any movie
Hmm.
set are downright false. Everyone who has worked with Mr. Majors knows that he employs an immersive method acting style, and while that can be misconstrued as rudeness at times,
That's
those who
true.
know Mr. Majors and work in the industry have attested to his dedication to his craft
That's
as well
true.
as his kindness. And that is pretty much the basis.
I mean, I can understand that if you're in the if you're in the moment when you're acting, uh, and the person is not on the same level as you are, then that actor could be frustrated with you because if that actor is on a different level and he's in the flow and the other person mess your flow up, then you might get irritated with the other person. But I mean, like I said, this is hearsay, and there's no reason why the law firm would would be hunting after these information except to make it look bad for him, and to ruin him. There's no reason, guys. It's interesting.
Of the article. Rolling Stone states anonymous sources have said that Jonathan Majors is very intimidating, very pushy, very hard to work with, and that a couple of relationships he was emotionally abusive, and in one, physically abusive. But
Mm,
these two women would not speak to Rolling Stone. And it
mm.
doesn't seem like anybody from any of the recent movies that he's worked on is willing to come out and state anything about the case either. So, right now, this is all hearsay, and more importantly, this won't actually affect his legal case. Now, it could
Nope.
still affect his standing with Marvel Studios, but we'll talk
Yes.
about that in just a bit. As far as the case is concerned against his alleged abuse against Grace Jabari, there isn't too much that can be used here in court. Yes, they
No.
can present anonymous sources, but what they would really need is the two previous girlfriends to go to court and testify. And even then, that is for a completely unrelated case. What he is in trial
Exactly.
for right now is the several cases of assault against Grace Jabari specifically. And based off
Exactly.
of the details that we have learned over the past couple of months, Jonathan Majors and his team seemingly have substantial evidence to prove that he is innocent, they
Right.
claim. And some footage has even been released publicly showing Grace Jabari
Right.
after the alleged assault, right after the alleged assault at a nightclub, appearing to be perfectly fine. She claimed that Majors broke her hand, broke a finger on her hand, and lacerated her ear. And in the
Mm,
footage, we can see that her hand is perfectly fine and
mm.
that her ear is also perfectly fine as well. And Majors' team claims that they have much more evidence, including CCTV footage, which was used to get Grace Jabari arrested for assault against Majors himself. And they have many eyewitnesses
Wow.
that are willing to testify on Majors'
Wow.
behalf, including the driver who was driving Jabari and Majors when the
Mm.
supposed assault took
A
place. So I'm
driver.
obviously
Wow.
not a lawyer, but I'm not sure any of this is really going to affect
It's
his
not.
case right now. Now, the women could come out and state that these allegations are true and they were abused, and they could press
Have their
charges
own
against
case.
Majors at
Yeah.
that time or take him to court. But I don't think
Exactly.
this will
Probably
affect
try
his
to
case
sue him or
that much.
something.
However, it could affect
No.
his standing with Marvel Studios, even
Exactly.
if he ends up being innocent. Sometimes the studios take these things into account. However, at this point in time, Marvel Studios has worked with Jonathan Majors during Loki season 1 and, of
Exactly.
course, during Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, so they can make their own judgments. They have combined over a year working physically in the presence with Jonathan Majors. So
All right, guys. That's about it. Like I said before, this makes no sense. Why would they bring this up while he's while this in this case right here? And it pretty much shows that that he's winning, and someone I think someone that he might have done wrong or just rubbed the wrong way really high up somewhere that doesn't like him, and that person or yeah that person is probably pushing the lawyers, the police to find something on him, or they're doing their own search. They're doing their own search and finding these people from 15 years ago. The man is 33 years old, and 15 years ago, 10 years ago, sorry, 10 years ago, that he makes him 23. I mean, a lot of stuff we grow up, we go through things, and we're not the same person after a certain while. But I don't know if he's like that. If he is like that, then I mean, then all this happening is because of him. But if not, I mean, they're trying to they're really trying to do something bad to him, man. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy and subscribe and leave a comment and tell me what you think, okay? Or what do you want to see in the future? All right, guys. Take care.